Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nato. And Brian, you know what they say about South Florida weather. If you don't like it, wait 20 minutes. It will change. So we were waiting for the turf this afternoon. We're going to have to wait one more day. We had some pretty good rain showers here this morning just before we come on the air. And, of course, like I said, in South Florida, now we got sun behind us, but you don't want to wreck the turf course on the first day back.
Yeah, it was pretty hairy 45 minutes or so here, a crazy flash thunderstorm that really, honestly, wasn't really to be expected. So, unfortunately, we're going to be off the turf today. I'm expecting a muddy and sealed main track. I think, and this is probably foolish of me to say, I think the rain's out of the way, but that's not going to do us any favors with the grass racing. I would hope that
just put the hoodoo on us, I did. Just put the hoodoo on us. And please be advised that all these turf races moved to the Tapeta today. So we're not expecting a lot of scratches. That's the beauty of having the all-weather Tapeta course. So we'll go through, but we just found out as we got on the air that we've been taken off the turf. So we'll go through and give you what we got right now as far as scratches. And, of course, when we're done, Pete Aiello will update you with everything you need to know about these races coming off the turf today. We got the Rainbow Six, and that's going to start in race number 4. And we got about 60,000 or thereabout in that pool.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is, Ronnie, we're not going to show you tickets right now, at least. Check Twitter. We'll update them as we get the scratches for my 2 pick 5s, Ronnie at Rainbow Six, of course. So we're a work in progress here. We do have a couple scratches in the opener already. That's the 2 and the 9. And as Ronnie said, Pete is back today, baby, and he'll be upstairs to figure it all out for you, but we are admittedly kind of bobbing and weaving as we go through the program here.
Yeah, as long as, along with the 2 and 9, you got the scratches of the 13, 14, 15, and 16, and this race will now be contested at 1 mile and 70 yards, about distance on the Tapeta. And like we said, a work in progress. I bumped up. I had the number 9 Harmonia, who's not going to run today. That's one of those late scratches that came in. I went with Go Mika, who's stretching out to around 2 turns after showing some late interest in it. Her 5 furlong debut on the Tapeta. She's the daughter of Handsome Mike. I think she's bred to maybe handle this distance today.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I had a big note on this horse, and I thought she had a lot of trouble on debut and maybe wasn't, necessarily running that hard at the end, but now Miguel Vasquez gets aboard. I do think that's significant, and, second time out with Ronnie Spatz is a good angle. Again, we're kind of, like I said, we got to figure it out now, but she does have a Tapeta race. It was sprinting. I like to stretch out for her pedigree.
The number 4 Black Ice is a daughter of Keen Ice, and if you just look at this horse's campaign so far, and all of those at 1 mile 70 yards on the Tapeta, so she's never tried the turf. She was good in her debut. They put her right in the stake afterwards. She's sort of been, okay thereafter, but they're dropping her to the 25 level today.
Ronnie, if there is a little silver lining in this opener, there really was no turf form with the exception of the favorite. As a handicapper now, maybe you can get a little better feel for this race since we are on the Tapeta. Black Ice is one of those horses that has run well over the surface.
Yeah, and the number 8 horse in here, Not Do That, from Barry Croft, showed some ability sprinting on the all-the-weather. Maybe the stretch out will help that horse this afternoon once again. Mile 70 yards on the Peter Scratch, the 2-9, and all the also eligible entries. No problem with race number 2 this afternoon because this one is about 1 mile 70 yards on the Tapeta, claiming fillies, 3-year-olds of 4 and up, non-winners of 3 races in life. No scratches, jockey changes to let you know about. We both started it off with the number 4, No Nanette, who's turning back just a little bit today. Only 3-time winner.
Yeah, well, you said it. 3-time winner and also coming in off a win. She's won 2 out of 3 for Jose D'Angelo. Sammy Camacho is here. They're 31%. It's not a big sample. They're 4 for 13. Jose has used a lot of different jockeys. Well, Sammy Camacho is one of the ones he's had the most success with. I think she's in a good spot. Ronnie and I talk about this all the time. 3 wins in a field of 2 firsts. It's a big deal. It's something I think that doesn't get enough publicity, or kind of maybe when you're handicapping, you don't think about it enough. It's a really big deal.
And especially here through the summer campaign, it's been that way, it seems. So over the year, it's been a good handicapping angle for both of us. The one-horse Sweet Actress, apart from the rally and hoping to turn the tables on No Nanette after rallying between horses, finished 3rd behind her, going 8.5 furlongs. Of course, that was on the all-weather surface. I think the turn back to 1 mile 70 might help her.
Yeah, she's in a good spot in here. She ran well last time for Tammy Levy. She's down inside. She's got the right running style, too, for the Tapeta routes. I will say this, and we're just getting going here. Take note, we've talked about it a lot. When it rains, that Tapeta seems to tighten up a little bit.
The number 5, Hot Bodie, is stepping up to the next level after parlaying that 5-wide charge into a 3-length score against those 2 lifetime foes. Antonio Sano going to go with Ismerio Villalobos, going for 2 in a row on this horse.
Big run last time, ran an 11 on the thoroughgraphs. That's the number they've got to get to in here. Can she double up? That remains to be seen. She's rising in class, too. That was a powerful win, though. I will say that last time.
Now, race number 3 this afternoon is going to be a 1-mile claimer. Of course, we'll see what the track condition is. I'm sure it was sealed, and we'll see how they plays out. We'll let you know. Pete will let you know as soon as we get done here. I'm guessing it's either going to be sealed sloppy or, you said, sealed muddy in here. I did go with the number 6 horse. I'll start it off, Brian, with 12 o'clock, who's stepping up to face winners after rallying at the 12-5 level at defeat a trio of next out winners going to 1-turn mile on the dirt. You know, if it's a key race, I'm giving it a second look. Jose Pinchin, Jose Morelos, who's been running great.
Yeah.
This one is going to go for 2 in a row with the number 6 horse in here. That's 12 o'clock.
Yeah, you know, as Ronnie was talking, I'm kind of working on the fly here, and 12 o'clock is the only horse with any significant good effort on an off track. That sloppy run 2 back was really, really strong. He doubled up on it last time to break through. Does step up and face winners, but let's just be honest, this isn't the saltiest group we're going to see.
The number 2, Sovereign of Speed, is hoping to save just more for the stretch drive. You put it on top, duel throughout, finish second at this level for Jose D'Angelo, MSC El Jaramillo at the controls. And this one has never tried a wet track, so we'll see how this one handles it.
I think the benefit of Sovereign of Speed, aptly named, has got a lot of it. He got dogged the entire way. I liked him. He was my long shot last time I played him. I liked him. He ran very well. I don't think, at least looking at this race on paper, I don't think he's going to have to work as hard on the lead as he did that day. That's a good thing for him. That's a problem for 12 o'clock, who doesn't have a lot of early speed.
And no, I think the horse he was dueling with in that race was Love in Paradise, if I remember correctly. Peter Walder got the apprentice Jaime Torres in there.
Yeah, he's on the outside, and we'll see if he presses him. And now being on the outside, if he takes a little more patient approach, because I think what happened last time, and I would think that this is fresh in the mind, he got swatted by Sovereign of Speed. Maybe they don't. That's why I'm saying I don't know if they press him as much today.
We'll take a short break. When we come back, it will be a race number 4, and we'll be going about 1.70 miles on the Tapeta. We'll be right back.
It's probably the most beautiful racetrack in the country, to be honest with you.
The background is just beautiful.
I love Gulfstream Park because of the grandstand and the racing.
The weather is beautiful. The facility is phenomenal.
The Gulfstream Championship meet has become one of the top events of the year. You could come out on a Wednesday and see a future Preakness winner.
They're off in the Preakness. The Run Happy Santa Anita Derby.
Got the unique 6.5 down the hillside turf course. A whole lot of great racing here in California.
And we're off.
We have all 3 surfaces here, the only racetrack in the country to have all 3 surfaces. Being close to the ocean, being surrounded by some of the greatest horses and riders in history, it's amazing.
It's the prettiest thing you've ever seen. There's no one else has a background like we do.
Welcome back, Gulfstream Today. Ron and Brian, if you're just joining us, we had some rain this morning. We'll be off the turf for the first time already, and it's so. We were waiting so long for this. The turf course looks absolutely spectacular. Rainbow Six is going to start here with races 4 through 9. I'm going to readjust my ticket because we found out we were off the turf when we just came on the air. I don't want to give you a ticket with scratches in it. And this 4th race is about 1.70 miles on the Tapeta. Maiden claim is 3 and up. 16,000. Scratch the number 6 horse in here. And note the number 4 horse in here, More Than Gray, is listed as a gelding. We both have number 3, Leopardo, who's changing barns, going to the Carlos David barn.
Yeah, Sammy Camacho on the 4 as well, so take note of that, Sammy Camacho. You want to write that in?
Yeah. No, I'll do it afterwards. I got a bum finger today, so he's making fun of me.
I tease my buddy over here in a little mishap. This is my best bet of the day, Leopardi. We've got very few stats to show you, too. They were washed away, unfortunately, but we've got one here for Carlos David, and it's a good one, and I think it's predictably a good one for this barn. It's not a big sample, but, 3 for 5 routing off the claim on the Tapeta. Leopardi ran a winning race last time. The winner was just super good. You can see he was well clear of 3rd. Now he goes off the claim for a 27% overall barn off the claim. I think he's in a good spot today. And the other reason he's in a good spot, you're going to talk about the one in a second. We haven't seen Mr. Cellular in a while.
Yeah, this one claimed for $50,000 last February. Plunges today to the 16 level in return to action for Bobby DeBone. It's a gelded son of Nyquist. Shows 4 consecutive stamina tweaking 5 furlong workouts in preparation for the first start since facing those maiden special weight runners on the grass during April, so it hasn't been seen in a while. I like when the horse works those steady 5 furlong works. Maybe this one comes back running. I agree with you, Leopardi, but maybe we'll get the number 1, Mr. Cellular for Bobby DeBona today, ridden by Lionel Reyes, and maybe take my shot as depart from the outside again. He was finished third behind Leopardi last time.
Yeah, I mean, he's 0 for 17. It is what it is, but he did run well, and he's got a few races in him that scare these. Mr. Cellular comes out of a super key race. I know you like that, but boy, claimed for 50, and now he hasn't been out since that maiden special weight in April, and here he is for 16. Not ideal.
Yeah, that was 3 winners from 10 starters in that race. We're going to go to race number 5 this afternoon. This one originally scheduled for 1 mile on the turf, now to be run at 1 mile and 70 yards on the DePeter allowance optional claimer. State-bred 3-year-olds and up. That optional claiming price is $20,000. Early scratches thus far are 5, 6, and 7. Of course, once we get off the air, Pete will update you with all the information you need with these races coming off the turf this afternoon. And we were just talking before we went on the air. It still looks like the number 1 horse in here, Tizza Giant's got a big shot.
He was my long shot on the turf. I think he probably moves up. There's no long shot attached anymore here. Because he broke his maiden on the Tapeta last time, and he was good doing it. Paco Lopez is going to get aboard for Mike Trombetta. He's perfectly drawn. He's got that right kind of stalking, closing style for the Tapeta, and there seems to be some speed in here up front as well. I think Tizza Giant is one of the horses on this card today that certainly won't be complaining that he's moving over to the synthetic, the all-weather Tapeta.
You know, we're not sure yet if Chester's Dream is going to be in the race, but this one's going to face state-bred competition locally. I want to show you that claiming victory at Colonial Downs. And albeit this is on the grass, but I just thought it was a good performance. And I thought if this horse run's going to be a major play, you could see Turner for Home really nowhere to go and had a tip out here. And I thought this horse ran exceptionally well. So we'll see how he runs. Now, he's always run well here on the turf. Yeah. I don't know if they'll scratch him out, but I think this was a big performance for this horse. Of course, he was the number 5 that day, and you could see him just coming down and motoring down the center of the turf course there at Colonial Downs.
The old pink and yellow of Mike Dubb that we'll see a lot here this winter. I agree with you, and we, Ronnie and I talked off the air, should we show these replays or not? I think they're beneficial because obviously we were going to show them for a reason anyway, and if you handle the turf, theoretically you can handle the Tapeta. So you saw it right there. A horse basically is in really, really good form right now. Uncle Armando's the other one.
And with that said, sorry, Brian, we don't expect a lot of scratches as it's been when we were on the turf before. So we'll see how that is, and we'll check that out. Let's go to race number 6. This one is going to be 5.5 furlongs. This one is on the main track. Maiden special weight, 2-year-old state-bred fillies, and no scratches in this race. And you went with the number 7 horse in here, and that's Fortuna Bella. This one from Rohan Crichton.
Boy, it's a wide open race, isn't it? And there's different ways you can go. The reason I went with Fortuna Bell over the heavy favorite, Sassy But Precious, she's got a lot of speed for Rohan Crichton, and she's breaking from a nice outside attack post. I think that's going to help. I expect her to move forward today. She needs to move forward today because her debut wasn't all that hot, but she did chase early and tired late. And she's going to be a square price, too, because your horse, who, I made 9-5 on the morning line, is going to get bet hard second out for Dave Fox.
Yeah, let's go back and show you this horse's race back on October 21st. First, we're going to show you the start of the race where Sassy But Precious just breaks that step slow. In here, she is the number 2. And you could just see it already, you got it sort of like plot your trip out from here. But when turned for home, I thought this horse ran exceptionally well. You see him looking for his space. She was sort of behind horses the whole way. Now she's got a tip out, and she runs well. And you could see the horse that's on the lead. That's 9-5, Kiki Love. And this one keeps coming. Here's the key with this race. It was a good performance. Not going to get to the 9-5 shot in there after that slow start and having a little traffic problems in there. But David Fawkes is 30% with maidens making their second start. That is one of our favorite angles. Sammy Camacho in the saddle.
Yeah, and the scary thing, too, for the rest of this field is you expect Sassy But Precious to improve. I don't even know if she has to, Ron, because the horses we've seen run in the afternoon, they haven't run a race that's going to beat that race that Sassy But Precious just ran.
You know, then I just want to mention the number 6 a little bit in here. Jolly Miss Jill is the daughter of Handsome Mike, but she's a half-sister to multiple Florida Sire Stakes winner Breeze on By, debuting for Ralph Nix. That's a good barn. You know, they have good horses in there. We got to check the tote. I mean, it's a first-time starter. We'll see how it runs. Race number 7 this afternoon, 6 furlongs, claim is 3, or 4 and up, non-winners at 3, or race since June 1st. Scratch the 2, 5, and 7. My long shot was in here today at 10 to 1, and I thought I'd get a pretty good price, but with the number 5 horse coming out, I think that ship has sailed, and that's Doo Up Don, who's going back to his preferred surface today after returning from about a 5-month layoff to finish that sort of sightseeing 5th against 20 state-bred optional claimers, going 5 on the Topita. Kelsey Dana just does a great job, and you get Lionel Reyes handing, you know, to me was the long shot special in this race. I'm just going to cross out all the Topita race and just key on this horse's dirt races. And Doo Up Don always seems to run a decent race.
No, I agree. And look at his race. It was back in March, but that was in the slop, and he was a good second that day. He's kind of a funky horse in that sometimes they bet him, sometimes they don't. I had him as a long shot one day, and they bet him, and it surprised me. The scratches hurt. There's no doubt about it. He's a sneaky player in here for Kelsey Danner, who's, I think, now got the majority of her stock back here and is going to win races.
You went with the 10 Sensei Lauren, who's dropping to the 20 level. Faced a tougher sprinting on the dirt with some success in those races.
Yeah, I had him in here. I had him on top the whole way, but with the scratch now of reserve not attained, Sensei Lawrence on this class drop with 2 good off-track races showing, he's going to be a huge favorite in here. He's probably going to be something to 5 for Aubrey Mirage.
Yeah, and Uranium on the inside broke his maiden at 6 furlongs, and the rain track goes back to the dirt today after clicking off a couple of solid efforts sprinting on the Topita. Joe Orsino, Miguel Vasquez.
Slow race, but he was second in his only time over a wet track. Food for thought. You got to put that into kind of the handicapping bag today.
We're going to go to race number 8 this afternoon. If I can flip my page over right here. It's a sticky. I got
Use your pointer finger.
I got a bump finger here today. Sorry, folks. 8th race is originally scheduled for 5 furlongs on the turf, now to be run at 5 furlongs, about distance on the Topita. Allowance optional claimer. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. That optional claiming price is $62,500. Boarded I Like Empress Tigress on the turf this afternoon, who's a $410,000 stakes-winning daughter of Classic Empire, turning back to 5 furlongs. Returned from that freshening and ran second against 2 other. Then allowance run is going 5.5 on the Keeneland turf. We could go back and show you that race on October 22nd. We're going to pick it up just before the 8-pole home. Once again, this was on the turf. She gets caught as the 6-5 favorite in this race. So you can see her there. She was just cruising along. I thought the turn back today, when it was going to be on the turf, the 5 furlongs was really going to help her. And she got beat. I think this horse was like 19 to 1 or 13 to 1, the one that beat her there. But she held on okay.
She is. She'll be a. She was 8-5 on the turf. She might be 3-5 now because look at her debut on the Topita up at Woodbine. She wins by 6 lengths with an 86 buyer on debut. So I would be very surprised if Jonathan Thomas takes her out of this spot because, boy, that was an awesome debut effort.
I had some interest in Constitutional Gallows cutting back to 5 furlongs. Just I thought maybe this horse had tried to Peter up at Woodbine. Didn't run that badly. He's got some speed. Mark Cassie, Miguel Vasquez. It's a $195,000 daughter of Constitution.
Yeah, it was on the turf last time at Woodbine, but she really righted the ship in a big way after a couple of duds. As Ronnie said, she's got a Topita win up there at Woodbine. She's got speed. Mark Cassie and Miguel, you could do a lot worse. And she's going to be a much, much better price than the heavy favorite.
Race number 9 this afternoon, our final race of the afternoon, is about 1 mile 70 yards on the Topita. Claim is 3 or 4 and up. Non-winners of 3 races in life, $8,000. Full field of 11 to end the afternoon. You went with the number 7, Eyes of Champion, who's dropping to this $8,000 level today.
Should be a great betting race if you need to get out or you're looking for some value. There's a lot of it in here. I did go with Eyes of Champion, a little bit of a drop for Jose D'Angelo, who's got a couple of them in here. Here's Paco. You got to take note. Paco's back. He's riding live horses. People are putting him on live horses. I just think we talk about Miguel Vasquez a lot. You just need to pay attention where these kind of guys are. Jose reaches out.
Well, here's that angle again with the number 11, Silent Chaos, is the only 3-time winner in the field. Turning back just a little bit after finishing a willing second against this level, going a mile into 16th on the Tapeta. Edgar Perez for Carlos David. Got to deal with the outside post. Certainly looks like the one to beat in there.
That's the problem, but I agree wholeheartedly. 8s and 9s on the thoroughgraphs I've been running are just better than this group. The post is not ideal. Going to lose some ground. The question is how much can Edgar save and tuck in maybe?
The number 1, J.P. Cornetta, is stepping up to the next level. Drew cleared to defeat 2 lifetime claimers by 5 in an amazing dead heat with El Socio. They were both like 5 lengths in front of the field, and it was a dead heat. You do not see that very often.
No, and I wonder if he comes back a little bit because that was a huge effort, but he's drawn well. He comes in off a powerful win, and, you could do worse with him at a decent $10 or so.
Let's check out our lightning round. Of course, Pete will be up in a couple of moments, straighten everything out for us in here in the lightning round this afternoon. What do we start with?
Well, standings again, but we should mention with a little bit of an asterisk because obviously Miguel is far and away, but you can see it on the bottom there. The waters begin to get deeper now. Luis Saez is here, I see, on Sunday, and Julian Leperoux. We've seen a lot of familiar faces that are back. The same goes on the trainer standings as well.
Yeah, it's going to be changing all around. Then you see Safi with 19. Hey, Rowan's not letting him out of his sights.
Rohan has turned the corner. I think he was 1 for 24 to start the meet, or 1 for, maybe it was 18. He's no longer 1 for 18. He's on a little bit of a tear.
We got our turf stakes, right?
We got our best bet in long shot. My best bet sticks today, and that's Leopardi in race 4. Who do you got?
Mine got scratched out this afternoon, but I still got my long shot in there.
Okay.
What's your?
Well, my long shot's gone, so you take it.
Yeah, Doo-Wop Don 10-1. Of course, we'll be changing everything throughout the afternoon as far as tickets go.
Yeah, so we're going to start just kind of previewing the feature of the following day. Going forward, especially with turf racing returning, I would like to expect we'll be on it tomorrow, and we've got a good one as the feature tomorrow. You see Bramble Bay and Kahiko lead the way in a really, really good optional claimer, and this is Kahiko getting it done. This is in September, but we know, the thing is, Ron, and we should mention this too, this is, the same turf course. If you've handled this turf course, we'd like to think you're going to handle it again.
Yeah, you know that's an angle I always used over the years, and you do that even when you go to if I go to New York and bet races, I do the same thing. If horses have run well, it's always been a tried and true angle because here at Gulfstream Park, you have horses, especially at the beginning part of the winter campaign, where horses coming from all over the place, and you try and rekindle that horse for course status on them.
This is the same course. I mean, it's not like a completely new course. So I think that's important. And I think as we go forward now, again, we're not on the turf today, but as we go forward, you need to pay attention to those kind of horses that have handled it.
Now we got a Happy Trails today, right?
Yeah, this is cool, and our buddy Phil sent this over to me the other day, and this is cool. This is a Maryland legend where she told me to go. You know this horse.
Yeah,
17 total wins, 13 of them were stakes, Ron.
Yeah, almost $1 million in earnings the hard way. This one, unbelievable. So a great, great horse, and always had fun watching this horse run up at our sister's tracks in Maryland, Laurel, and Pimlico.
Yeah, that was him beating Jackson Traveler, who's a crack sprinter for our friends West Point, and retired sound too. They wanted to get him to $1 million, didn't quite work out. He's okay, just getting up there in age, and they retire him sound. It's great to see, and I think those are the type of horses I think you gotta kind of golf clap and tip your hat to.
And a big important thing for the rest of the meet here, except on big days, 12-10 one first post. So 12-10 each and every day.
That's 11-10 for us on the morning show. And speaking of which, we'll wrap it here. Pete Aiello is back. That's a good thing, and we'll send it up to him because he's got his work cut out. I'll give you some scratches and changes on the card today.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream. It was like this big fairy tale place.
We back.
Northern Dancer, winner of the Florida Derby.
Yeah.
All the history, all these great horses, trainers, jockeys.
It is Barbaro to the final furlong. He is a neck in front. Barbaro wins!
It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
Sunday silence surges to the front.
First day, opening day of championship meet, I was kind of starstruck. You're watching LeBron James, and then next thing you know, you're playing basketball against him. That's how I felt when I'm riding with Donnie V, riding with Irad, Luis.
So many famous people come. Post Malone, Pharrell, J-Lo was there. It's epic.
The weather is beautiful. The facility is phenomenal.
It's all about Knicks Go. Knicks Go makes it 4 in a row.
It's one of the most beautiful tracks in the country, surrounded by some of the greatest horses and riders. It's amazing.
And hello again, everybody, and welcome to a Thursday afternoon of world-class thoroughbred racing live in Hallandale Beach, Florida at Gulfstream Park. 9 races on the program here this afternoon with a first post time at 12:10, just 20.